I didn't dye my gray out for my daughter's wedding after she said the photos would look better if I tried, so my hair started going gray when I was around 38, and I honestly just let it happen. By the time I was 45, it was basically fully silver. Not like salt and pepper, like genuinely silver. A lot of people comment on it, my coworkers, strangers in grocery stores, whatever. She got engaged to her partner Marcus about a year and a half ago, and the wedding was this past Saturday. I want to say up front that I was so happy for her. Marcus is wonderful. They're genuinely good together, and I had been looking forward to this day since she got the ring. The trouble started about 6 weeks out. Reese and I were doing a final dress fitting together, just the two of us, kind of a nice mother-daughter thing. Afterward, we went for coffee and she brought up the wedding photos. She said she'd been looking at the shot list with a photographer and thinking about how everything would look. And then she said it. Mom, I've been meaning to bring this up, but do you think you might want to color your hair before the wedding? Like just a brown wash or something? The photos would just look better if you tried. I didn't say anything for a second. I set my cup down. I asked her what she meant. She said it was nothing personal. It was just that silver hair could look a little washed out in certain lighting, and she wanted everyone to look their best. She said it like it was a totally reasonable styling note, like she was asking me to wear a specific shade of blue. I told her my hair was silver and had been for years, and I wasn't planning to change it for the photos. She got that look, the one where she's trying not to show she's frustrated, but she absolutely is. She said she wasn't telling me what to do. She was just suggesting that it would be a nice gesture to put in a little extra effort. I asked her if she was saying my natural hair wasn't enough effort. She said, Mom, I just want the photos to look cohesive. I said I understood and I was going to have silver hair in her wedding photos. She dropped it that day, but about 3 weeks later, she texted me a link to a salon that did subtle gray blending. The text said, just wanted to give you the option in case you changed your mind. I didn't respond to that. Then 2 weeks before the wedding, my sister called me. Her name is Paula. Apparently Reese had called her to see if Paula could talk some sense into me. Paula, to her credit, was basically calling to warn me. She told me what Reese said and then said, I told her it was your hair and none of my business. I asked Paula if she thought I was being unreasonable. Paula said, you're asking if I think you should dye your hair for someone else's wedding. No, I don't think that. The week of the wedding, Reese didn't bring it up again. I assumed it was done. I got my hair blown out, wore a navy dress I loved, and I showed up to that wedding looking honestly like myself. The ceremony was beautiful. I cried. Reese cried. Marcus cried. It was the whole thing. The reception was wonderful too, right up until a quiet moment near the end when Reese came over to hug me and said quietly, almost like she was just making an observation, you really didn't want to try even a little, did you? I hugged her back. I said, I tried to be exactly the mother you've had your whole life. That felt like enough to me. She pulled back and looked at me for a second. Then Marcus came over and pulled her back to the dance floor, and that was the end of it. A week later, the preview photos came from the photographer. Reese sent them to the family group chat. My hair is silver in every single one. There's one shot of me and Reese that I keep looking at. We're laughing and she has her head tilted toward mine, and it's one of the most beautiful photos I've ever been in. She sent me a message separately that just said, the photographer said you were one of her favorites to shoot. Said you had great presence. I didn't reply right away. I set my phone down and looked at that photo again for a while. Then I wrote back, I know.